Howdy everyone, Pete Daddy here. Today is the first day of the Ones to Watch promo on FIFA 21, and we were given our very first player objective card with this Diogo Jota. This is one I'm actually pretty excited about because Jota's gold card is actually pretty strong. He has 4-star skill moves and 5-star weak foot. Let's push the Whopper button for a 5-star weak foot.
Tell the crew to push the Whopper button.
5-star weak foot is one of my favorite things of all time in FIFA. It's maybe not as important this year. I shouldn't say not as important. Maybe 4-star weak foot's not as much of a detriment, I should say. But 5-star weak foot's always amazing. I'm using Heung-min Son as my striker right now, and his 5-star weak foot is dominating people. But I wanted to go over the fastest, the quickest, the most efficient ways to knock out these objectives. But before we do, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, all of that fun stuff. But let's just get right to it. I guess first and foremost, look kind of in the top left, you can see they've given us basically 12 days to complete it, which is more than enough time. Another great thing is that there are no win conditions on any of these objectives. Any of you guys playing in FIFA 20 know that usually one of the objectives would be like, do this while winning 5 rivals matches. This one has no win conditions. So if you need to, if you have any trouble with any of them, message your opponent before the match. Say, hey, do you want to trade some goals? You know, whatever you need to do. So just keep that in mind that there's no win conditions on any of these. The other weird thing on this, though, is that what they are not saying last year, let's read this first one. Portuguese Pro. Scoring 4 separate squad battles matches on minimum professional difficulty using Liga NOS players. Now, what this would have said last year in FIFA 20, scoring 4 separate squad battles or rivals. This year it just says squad battles. Now, I'm not sure if that's an oversight or if they're trying to force us to do some of these objectives in squad battles. I haven't been able to test it yet, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to test that soon. The way I read it, though, we're going to have to do some of these in squad battles, which is unfortunate. I liked when you could kind of combine all of them, but we do have one more objective in squad battles, so if you are forced to do it in squad battles, we can combine 2 of them. And that's one of the best ways for these objectives. Whenever you can combine objectives, whenever you can do 2 or 3 things at once, it just makes it so much easier. But I want to go over some of the players that I would recommend. And for the Liga NOS objective, what I would recommend is Rafa. It's R-A-F-A, and he has 94 pace. I'd recommend him even if you want to keep him as one of your super subs. He's a great player. He was in my starter team. Did absolutely amazing work for us. So if you need a Liga NOS player to bang in some goals, definitely look at Rafa. He's like 4,000 or 5,000 coins. We'll look on the transfer market at all of the players I recommend. And when I recommend players, I'm trying to recommend ones that are going to be affordable. I'm not going to say like one of the objectives is like for Portuguese players. I'm not going to say just get Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, because he's out of the price range of pretty much everyone. So I'm going to try to recommend some affordable players that you can buy and then later sell if you need to get rid of them or, you know, be able to do something else with them. But for this one is just scoring 4 separate squad battles matches on minimum professional difficulty using Liga NOS players. Now let me show you where you can combine that one. That's with this one, skilled and battle. Assist in 5 separate squad battles matches on minimum professional difficulty using players with minimum 4-star skill moves. Now this one should be fairly easy. There's a ton of 4-star skill moves players, and this is the one you want to combine. You want to combine Portuguese Pro and skilled and battle. So when you're playing your squad battles, make sure you bang in a goal with a Liga NOS player and make sure that you're assisting with a 4-star skill move player. If you just use Rafa, Rafa is also not only just a Liga NOS player, he does have 4-star skill moves, so if you're using him there, he's going to really be able to bang in some goals for you and also provide the assists that you may need. But there's going to be tons of 4-star skill move players out there. I mean, there are a few 3-star skill move players out there, but most of the attackers are going to be 4-star skill moves, with some exceptions. I'm just saying a lot of them will be. So definitely do skilled and battle and Portuguese Pro at the same time. And once you complete those, you'll get a small Electrum Players pack and a Ones to Watch loan Diogo Jota and a gold pack. Now, I will say if you don't want to spend the coins, one of the players, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it, that I'll recommend is actually buying gold Diogo Jota. He costs roughly 10,000 coins, 10 to 11,000 coins. We'll check the transfer market on all that in a minute. But if you don't want to spend those coins on Jota, you can get this lone Diogo Jota right here and then use him in some of the other objectives. So that's one thing, again, if you want to limit what you're spending, we can also take this once to watch lone Diogo Jota that you get and use him for some of those other objectives. And that also allow you to try them out, see if you even like them. But let's go how we can combine our next group. So the next group we're going to look at is through talent. This is assist with a through ball using Portuguese players in 4 separate rivals matches. So the next 3 that we look at, through talent, rivals records, and Premier League performer, those are all in division rivals. So this is now where we're going to try to combine those 3 together. And so one player I mentioned was Diogo Jota. I'm telling you, his gold card is pretty strong already. So if you don't want to buy that one, then use this loan version. But that's going to give you assists with the through ball using Portuguese players in 4 separate rivals matches. A couple other nice Portuguese options. I already mentioned Rafa, Diogo Jota, another one, Gelson Martins. He's going for about 2,500, 2,000 to 2,500 coins, somewhere in that neighborhood. Very, very pacey. Another one that'll be able to give you some assist. And another one will be Nani. Now, Nani doesn't have the pace, so I'd recommend you playing him at striker or cam, but he's got some nice passing stats. He's 5-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot, so he's going to be able to give you that through ball assist. And through balls are very OP in FIFA 21, so we should be able to get those in and get them on. One way that works for me is maybe more camping a little bit outside of the box, you know, so you're not in the box, but just a fraction outside of the box, you know, 3 to 6 yards outside of the box, and then kind of just do a little through ball to a player making like a little darting run into the net, one-time finish, and then that tends to work really well for me. But regular traditional through balls work a lot better this year than they have in previous FIFAs. So if you've got a player in, you can do that through ball, you know, a traditional through ball, kind of like you're at the midfield line or a little bit back. You see a player making a run, send that through ball in, and they're generally able to hold off enough of a player, especially if you have a striker or a winger with a little bit of strength, generally able to hold off to at least get that shot on. So just the regular traditional through balls work as well. So we are going to try to combine these, though. We're going to try to get an assist with the through ball using a Portuguese player, and we're also going to try to combine that one with rivals record and Premier League performer. So let's talk about these. Rivals record is scored 10 finesse goals in rivals using Premier League players. Now, FIFA 21 finesse goals work a lot better than they did in FIFA 20. If you get into that area, 1v1 versus the keeper, you know, I don't mean like 1v1 breakaway, but like, you know, you get it past to your striker in the middle of the box, and it's just basically he's just got to shoot it past the keeper. Use the finesse shot modifier, and if for those of you who don't know or are new to FIFA, if you hold RB on your Xbox controller or R1 on your PlayStation controller, hold it down the whole time. So I'm pushing it down, and then I'm going to hold the shoot button. So I'm not letting go of the RB. That's the finesse shot modifier. And then press the shoot button, and then they're going to do that like side foot where they kind of curve it around the keeper, and that's a great way to score this year when you do get it into that area in front of the keeper. I like doing that finesse shot this year. Seems to work a lot better than it did in FIFA 20. But the other thing is, look at that. There's no win conditions, like I mentioned. If you're having any trouble with this, message your opponent before the match and say, hey, can I just get 10 finesse goals? I would probably give the win for this one. The next one, I maybe would not give the win. I'd maybe just say trade goals. But if someone's going to give you 10 goals, I'd probably give them the win. You know, but then you're done with it. Don't have to think about it anymore, and you can just move on to your next objective. But that's one. You can do that all in one game. It's just 10 finesse goals. So if you're having any trouble, or say you completed the other 4 but weren't able to do this one, message your opponent. People will help you out on that. Give them 11 goals, and you score your 10 goals, and just go about your business, and you're done with it. But that is an easy way to do it as well. But we're hoping to combine that with this one, Premier League performer. Score minimum 2 goals per match in 5 rivals matches using Premier League players. So if you've got that Diogo Jota that we talked about, whether you need to use that loan version from before or whether you just buy his gold card, then if you can do a finesse shot with Diogo Jota twice in a match, you'd have 2 out of 10 of this complete, and you'd have this complete. So if you could have 5 matches where you scored 2 finesse goals in each match with Jota, then that would knock out both of these objectives at the same time. The other thing that you hope is that you get a through ball. So say that you have Rafa in your team and you send a through ball in to Diogo Jota, who then does a finesse shot in. So then you've got a through ball with a Portuguese player, you've got one of your Premier League goals, and you have a finesse goal. So with that one goal, you've completed 3 or worked towards 3 different objectives. So just keep that in mind. That's a great way to complete it. If you can send that through ball in to Jota or to whatever Premier League player you're going to use. This one doesn't have Portuguese. This is just Premier League. So, if you send that through ball in, and I guess I'll go ahead and tell you the other Premier League attacker that I really recommend for not a ton of coins is Raul Jimenez, the Wolves striker. I think he is a great bargain as someone who can bang in some goals for you. He's going for about 9,000 to 10,000 coins at the moment, but I think he's really, really strong and someone who can fit. The FIFA 21 meta is weird. I mean, pace, but you can do a lot of other things this year. If you've got a strong striker, you can shield off people this year. There's a lot of different ways you can attack. But that Raul Jimenez can bang in a lot of goals for you as well. So you could have Jimenez. Then you could do a through ball with Diogo Jota to Jimenez, who bangs in a finesse goal. And then that also will take care of 3 separate objectives. So, that's where we're getting smart. That's where we're being efficient, is working on these at multiple times. So those are the objectives. Let me show you some of the players. And let's take a look at Diogo Jota's card. I'll show you what I do like about him. Let's go into the transfer market. I'll show you again some of the players that I'm looking at. So there's Raul Jimenez. I was actually looking at him just to see where he was going for. 9,400. There's one for 9,100, one for 9,000. And if you look at his stats, I think people are still in that FIFA 20 mindset where you needed that like 5'8", 5'7" player that was like 99 agility. Now that is great. It doesn't hurt. That is still perfect this year, but you don't have to have that this year. It's a little bit different this year. But this Raul Jimenez has decent pace. He has amazing shooting, has okay agility for a big man, but he is going to bang in goals for you for sure. I've played with him in one draft match, or one draft cycle, and he did well for me. I've come across him a time or two. He seems pretty strong, but also look at his physicals. 84 strength. So one thing you can do this year is really shield defenders off and bang in goals. So Jimenez would be a great option for a cheap Premier League attacker. And while we're at it, let's take a look at another one. Jota himself. Let me just get him on up here. Let's see what Jota's going for. Even less than 90. There's tons of them out there for 9,400. Let's see how greedy we can get. Nothing for 8,400. Nothing for 8,800. It looks like about that 9,000 coin range. But, you could try to snipe him if you need to, whatever you need to do. But just to show you what I like about his stats, first and foremost, his pace. I prefer that spread. I don't know if you noticed on Jimenez, he kind of had that reversal, but we're not really asking Jimenez for his pure pace. We're asking him for his goal scoring abilities. His pace is okay, but what I like here, Jota's acceleration, 88 acceleration, 79 sprint speed. I like the guys that can make those quick acceleration boost into the box. They see that space, they make that quick boost to beat their center back to the spot, and then you can get that ball to them and they can bang it in. His shooting stats are fine. 82 attack positioning is actually pretty strong for gold cards this year. Attack positioning is a big deal in FIFA 21, but then look at his dribbling. 87 agility, 86 balance, 84 ball control, 84 dribbling, some really nice stats. And to top it all off, Jota, 73 strength, 85 aggression. This is a really strong card. If he got 1 or 2 informs, I guess we didn't really talk about the downside where he's not starting, but it's certainly playing for a Liverpool team. He gets 1 start, bangs in 2 goals, which is certainly possible with anybody in Liverpool's lineup. Gets a team of the week and then gets the promotion, or gets the boost on his wants to watch. But I love his work rates, high. 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot again. We mentioned that. So this is just a really strong card that I think you guys will enjoy playing with. The other options I mentioned for Portuguese were Rafa. And let's see what Rafa's going for. See if he's less than 4,200. Yeah, even less than 4,200. Tons of them out there. Those at 4,000 were not even getting bids. Less than 3,200. And you guys may even want to just keep this Rafa in your club for a super sub. He's probably one of the best values out there for super sub. 83 rated with 93 acceleration, 94 sprint speed. So he's got the pace to bring in off the bench. 83 attack positioning, which is great for a gold card, 90 agility, 89 balance. So he's going to be someone you can bring in when your opponent's center backs, fullbacks are getting tired. Let him make runs for you. Let him do those things, but he can also help you take care of that Liga NOS and Portuguese objectives. Another one I mentioned was Gelson Martins, who has been a strong FIFA player for years, mainly because of his pace. I mean, he's not someone you're going to be wanting to play with in December and January, but for right now, he can do work for you. Not 2,000. What can we get Gelson for? So tons of them out there for 2,400 coins, but you can look at them. I didn't mean to hit that button. I wanted to look at his stats, but you can see that 94 acceleration, 94 sprint speed, 94 agility, 92 balance. So another one you can just bring in to just make runs. Bring him on late if you want to, or if you were trying to complete the objectives, bring him on early and he can do some work for you. The other one that I mentioned was Nanny, and I think he's even cheaper. We'll see, even 1,400. Yeah, so tons of them out there under 1,400 coins. Maybe you could even get them for like 1,000 coins on bid if you want to. But let's take a look at Nanny's stats for a minute. Basically, I would bring him on as either a cam or a striker because he doesn't have a ton of pace, but he has nice passing stats. And one thing I love about him, 5-star, 5-star. So you've got the skill moves. He's got nice dribbling, but you can turn either way to make through ball passes or whatever you need to do with this Portuguese player. And he's got the over 4-star skill moves for the one objective. So this Nanny card would be really nice for distributing the ball. He has decent passing stats, great dribbling stats with the 5-star skill moves. So those are ones I recommend for cheap cards to help you knock out these objectives. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and take a look. We did get one new SBC today, this Thiago Silva. Let me just go to him for a second. Now, for him, I would recommend not completing this Thiago Silva. I don't think it's worth it. Mainly because, let me just bring up Thiago Silva's stats. Mainly because Thiago Silva just does not have the pace. I mean, he is someone who's going to need like 10 informs just to get to a usable pace. And that's still not even a great pace for a center back. So, you know, it's just not going to get that many informs to get to the usable range. Now, one thing I will say, EA did price him pretty fairly. So say we have a week left to complete Thiago Silva. So say when we get our division rivals rewards, you end up with an 82 or an 83 that you're going to say you have a 83 and an 81 and an 81 that are duplicate untradables. Rather than just discard them, maybe you could come complete this one. It only requires an 82 rated squad. Then you at least would have an 85 rated Thiago Silva. Maybe he gets one inform, goes to an 86. Then that's an SBC fodder card you could use later on. But that's the only real value I see out of this Thiago Silva. But anyways, boys, this is going to wrap it up for now. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, join my Discord, follow me on Twitter. But I'll see you guys soon. Bye.